Hey everybody, welcome to the Patty G Show. I'm your host, Patty G. We are here with Daryl Cohen, really just a serial entrepreneur. I mean, there are so many things this guy has his hands in. I am just blown away by everything we're going to talk about. There is so much to get to. I want to get to it as soon as we can. But before we do that, we have some bills to pay. We want to give a big, wonderful thank you to the amazing sponsors that make this show possible each and every week. We have Government Taco, Falaya Real Estate, Currency Bank, Lakeman's Health Center, Horizon Financial Group, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and as always, our outfit of the day is brought to you by McClavy's Limited. Now, without further ado, Daryl, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm excited, man. You do so much that I am really just eager to get into it. So for those that may not be aware, who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Daryl Cohen, man. I'm actually from Century, Florida, small town outside of Pensacola. Came to Louisiana to play college basketball at Southeastern Louisiana in Hammond. So we, came over, had a good run, 2 years, played college basketball, finished up and turned pro. So played a couple years in Europe, had a good run, MVP of the German league, back-to-back EuroLeague top scorer. I was back-to-back EuroLeague champion. So I had a good run.
So you're pretty good, is what you're
I used to be pretty good.
What you're saying is you're pretty good.
Yeah, I used to be pretty good. So I had a good run. So after that, it's kind of was, looking for that next thing. Didn't want to be that guy still trying to play basketball and nobody really wanted him anymore. Just saying, hey, like, what can I do next? And I was thinking, and it just kind of hit me one day when I was in Europe. It's funny because I lost in the Cup finals, and I was talking to my wife, and she thought I was, mad about losing in the finals, and which I was, but I was thinking, I want to go home and I want to get in the car business. I want to sell cars.
Were you a car guy, or was it just this thought popped in your head of, I want to sell cars?
I always had this thing for cars. I always been like a guy that like different cars come out, sports cars. I wanted to know about them. I like that fast, that feeling that gives you that thrill, So I was like, well, I want to try something different, maybe to try the car business. And my wife, and she kind of looked at me and kind of laughed, like, you're gonna sell cars, right? It's like, you never sold cars in your life. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try it, So gave it a shot, and it became a career for me. So it was awesome. I had some guys that was some really good teachers, and I would say awesome sync at a dealership here in Baton Rouge that did some wonders for me, teaching and growing me as I would say a young entrepreneur, kind of raising me to, hey, look, you're gonna be this guy one day. Think sports, and that was at Ralph Sellers. That's where I started at. So,
Ralph Sellers.
Yeah, that's where I started at. Those guys helped me grow, and they showed me a lot. They kind of walked me through hand in hand, because coming in, those guys was big sports guys, so it was a good feel. They everything they did, they kind of related to sports, so it was like a puzzle, just plugging in pieces and going. So it was a good feel.
So you went straight from Southeastern to pro.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, the normal route for pro is in the States.
That's right.
But you went abroad.
Yes.
Let's talk about that experience.
Yeah.
First, how does one get involved with a different league outside of the country?
So, coming out of Southeastern, I was ranked first in the nation in 3-pointers made. I think I was ranked like 11th in scoring or something. Coming out, being a really good shooter, set a lot of records. I had an agent reach out to me and he was telling me that I had the opportunity to possibly turn pro here in the States. just kind of waiting to see what I can possibly do, finish up my senior year, how it was going to end. And he invited me to the pre-draft camp, sent me to Vegas, got me signed with his agency, and it went well. I had a good workout, and everyone was saying that you're not a point guard, you're a shooting guard. But I think if you go to Europe, you can have an awesome career because you can really shoot the ball. So,
I'm not adept to sports. So
Yeah.
what is the difference between a shooting guard and a point guard?
So a shooting guard and a point guard, a point guard is more of a floor general. He controls the game. He has the ball. He's the quarterback of a basketball team. He's getting
Gotcha.
everybody in a position, getting them lined up, and running the sets. Well, the shooting guard is the guy that scores the ball. He's on the right wing, get him the ball. He's going to put the ball in the hole.
Okay.
And playing that position, that's where I was more comfortable at, playing the shooting guard position. And going to the pre-draft camp, everyone's saying you 6'3", 6'4", you need to be a point guard. And I'm like, man, I'm a shooting guard. I'm a scorer. And it's like, well, you're going to have to guard two guys like Kobe Bryant, Steven Jackson. Can you guard those guys on the wing? It's like I'd rather go with this group. Where I want to guard these guys where they 6'3", 6'4", So having that to make that decision, it was hard to try to move over to be a point guard, and when your whole life you've been playing the two guard or shooting guard position. So after that whole week, spoke with my agent, came back to Louisiana, and he says, I think we're going to take the European trip. We're going to go that route, and I think you're going to have a great career. So after seeing a couple of videos of how it is there in Europe, he sent my film over, and right away I had 4 offers. And it was France, Belgium, Germany, and Portugal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
A little different.
yeah,
A little different
yeah,
offers.
Yeah. So I made that decision to take the deal in Germany. It was the best fit for me and my wife. She came with me. Going into another country at 23 or 24 years old.
Oh
And
gosh.
yeah, it was tough. So,
And no speaking of the language.
No.
Okay, so you've got a total language barrier between you and your neighbors.
yes. So
and
going
you've got
in,
to come in there and play a sport.
that's right.
And are your teammates speaking different languages?
So some of my teammates spoke English. Coach, he spoke English. So that was really good. And then basically we had a host, someone that showed us around town, spoke English. Took us to different stores and got us set up. So that was pretty cool. But when you're in the city and not everyone speak English, and you're trying to translate and pulling out your phone, and you're trying to point at different things that you want. So it was a different experience. My first year for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So the first year was different. Yeah.
So then you moved from Germany to another country and another team.
No, actually, I moved from the east of Germany to the west, and when I moved to the west of Germany, that was like, man, it was like I was home. It's like second home. I didn't want to leave Germany. It was great. My wife was saying, like, it doesn't even feel like we out of the country anymore, because the west of Germany is like so Americanized, where it's got all of the stores you can think. If you think in any shop, you think Nike, Louis Vuitton, you name it, you got it. Everybody spoke English. So nobody wanted to speak German with you. They wanted to practice with me. Everybody's like, let's speak English, So that was fun.
More than happy to oblige.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Being in the west of Germany, it's like night and day. Yeah.
So then from there, where was your next step?
My next stop was when I left the west of Germany. I then went to New Fest, which is north of, I guess you can say, north of Africa.
Okay.
It's at the top. So Casablanca, played in that league, and it was a really good league. It's the Moroccan league. It was in Morocco.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that was fun.
And then you found yourself from there coming back to Louisiana? Or was there another stop in between?
After that, I talked to my wife, and we sat down, and that's when I was telling her I had a really good run, ready to start a family, and I said that I was going to play one more year because when I won the MVP of the German League, I thought that I can possibly do it again. I was like, man, I can repeat this in a tough league, and we talked a little bit over and over, and I told her I want to come home and I want to learn something different, and that's when I jumped into the car business.
So then you took a hard 90-degree turn, and now you're in the car business.
Now in the car business, yeah. It was fun starting out right away. I was excited about it. I still am. It's every day you wake up, you're excited about it because the car business still gives me that competitive feel, right? I'm always competing because, like, we set goals, and it's like, okay, we did, 60 or 70 cars this month, right? So when the month is over, you go from a hero to zero. You start all over again. So I like that feeling where you scored 30 points and you won a game, and the game is over, and you got a game tomorrow. Like, nobody cares what you did yesterday. It's
right.
like what you're about to do today, right? So I like that feeling, and it gives me that in the car business. You sold 4 cars yesterday. So what are you going to sell today? So I like that feeling. It keeps me in that spirit where it's like I'm competing. Everybody's like, man, you competing against other dealerships. Like, no, we compete in house. Because at the end of the day, we have no control of what the guy or the dealership down the street does. So we compete in house. Everything here, this is what we're doing. We write our goals down on the board, and we check those goals weekly. That's what we do.
So you make sure that the people in the house know. Doesn't matter what your friends are doing at other dealerships.
Nope, doesn't matter.
All that matters is what you're competing with is your past self.
Yes.
How many cars did you sell yesterday, the day before, the month before? Can you exceed that goal?
That's it.
And from my limited understanding of the auto industry and the car dealership is that February is the month that people bust their butts.
Right.
Because it's the shortest month of the year.
Shortest month.
So they're like, how many cars can we sell in February?
February. Right. So that's, February is a special month for me. It's my birthday and it's Valentine's Day, so I always celebrate that for my beautiful wife. But with that, we look at February as a short month, and I set the goal high in February. It's like, man, why are you setting the goal high? It's like I'm setting it like it's a March, and it's like we can't make it. I'm like, sure you can. So now you can't leave the store without having something set up for tomorrow. So if you always leave,
that's good.
Yeah. So if you always leave, knowing you have something working for tomorrow, you're gonna be successful. You're gonna sell something. We're gonna reach that goal, right? But if you're going into and thinking, hey, February short month, let's just get it over so we can go into March rocking and rolling. It's like, no, we got to get to February first, so we complete the task that's at hand, and then we move to March. So. Never leave the store without having something working, and you'll be great tomorrow.
So how much of your basketball career has been transposed in how you run the shop with Legendary Auto?
Oh, everything, 100%. So everything that's ran at the dealership, the barbershop, the Boundless Red Claws that I have, everything is ran like a professional European club. That's where I learned it from. Some really good teachers, leaders. I couldn't say enough about those guys. That how they run a club it's like, man, this is like a dream. So I wanted that feel where I just take this whole basketball club and I just pick it up and I move it and sit it here. So I want to operate just like we're running a basketball team. Whole basketball club, a professional club. So want to do anything different. We just changing where we're not playing basketball. We're selling cars. But we have our goals. We have our goals set up for the whole month. Actually, we have them set out for the whole year. And then we go, hey, look, this is our monthly goal. So the forecast is already laid out before the year even started. So it's not like we wake up in the morning and say, hey, listen, we're trying to hit 50 cars this month. It was already laid out for last year.
Right.
because of the forecast on what we need to do to hit these numbers, on how we need to, what we need to do to be successful this year. So if that number is 60, we don't change and say, hey, man, we're going to do 30 because there's a pandemic and COVID is happening and everything it's a shortage of chips. You can't get cars. That's not what we do. We don't stretch and say, hey, look, we're changing. You make adjustments. So the plan, we just make some adjustments, and we're going to stay on the track to sell 60 cars. We're not going to stretch and say, hey, we're going to sell 30. We just make some adjustments on how we're going to get to 60 now because the plan changed, right? So, everything that we had on the board before to say, hey, we're going to get to 60, thinking everything was the same as last year under the same conditions, well, things change, right? So with COVID hitting, plans didn't change. We stay at 60. We made some adjustments, still got to 60. So I think that was great.
So y'all reach your goals every month during COVID?
Yes. Yep. Just making.
Okay. How?
We just,
How in the world did you do that?
So we just got, dig in a little deeper, so now what everybody was thinking when I told them a year or two ago where the internet is our friend. That's where we're going to sell the most cars. On the internet, we're going to sell the most cars. Well, everybody was saying, hey, man, you're going to still need customers coming in. You still need customers driving by. Well, that's true. But if you price them right on the web, I'm not just selling to Baton Rouge. I'm selling to Florida, Texas, Mississippi, New Jersey. We got customers fly in from New Jersey, pick them up from the airport, have the car clean, ready for them, and they take off for delivery, right? So the internet is our friend. When everything happened, it was like, okay, you gotta shut down. Well, we had a service center. Well, we still have our service center, so that left us being open. We can stay open. We can operate. And while we're operating, I told them, while we're waiting to give us the complete green light to sell cars again, nothing changed. We still working our working list, building a pipeline, because when they give us the green light, we want to go full speed, right? So we're doing so, setting that pipeline, and it's kind of just worked out perfect where everybody's home and everybody's relaxed and say, you know what? Let me do some home improvement. Let me look for a new car. Let me look at upgrades. And where do you look? The web. You're looking on the website now. You're browsing the web. I'm not coming out. I'm just browsing, making home improvements, looking at different things. Not necessarily looking at cars, but I'm looking to service my car. How can I still service my car? Because everybody forgot. Like, well, I'm not buying a car during COVID. It's fine. You don't have to. But you still have to service it to keep it on the road.
You still got to drive it.
You still got to drive it, right? So that means that the car has to be serviced. So with that happening, you still have to go out to get to a service shop, And then when you're out at the service shop, you're like, take a look at this and take a look at that. And what about a new one? Because they was already thinking about it coming in. So if I can get you a new one or get you an upgrade, you don't have to come out no more. We can DocuSign, deliver the car to you. Pick up your trade, bring it back. We can do whatever you need us to do. And with that happening, we was already moving in that direction anyway. So that was kind of like a I guess you can say a blessing for us, because it was already, we was moving that direction, was heading there, and having everybody just stay home and just shop on the web, it kind of boosted the business. So that was good for us.
That adaptability that you recognized early on is huge, because not every business did, right? So not every business recognized my customers are still out there. Mm-hmm. I have to change how I reach them. Mm-hmm. I have to figure out a way of where are they looking, where are they spending their time, because this may not be on the road anymore. It may not be driving by anymore. So I'm losing that foot traffic. Right. But what can I do within the organization to improve the impressions, the eyeballs, ultimately what it comes down to get them on my shop? Whether if they're not thinking about it, I need to make them start thinking about it. Or like you're saying, if they need to bring in their car for service, once they're in here, have our space built and schematic out so much so whenever they're sitting waiting for that car repair, they're like, oh, wait a second, what is this?
Yes.
Oh, wait a second, what is this? Oh, wait a second, what is this? You get somebody walk out there with a cup of coffee or a water. Hey, you thirsty? You enjoying your visit to our local store while you're having your car. Just come on, let's just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk. And having that level of almost concierge service that they're not going to get at every single place. And you're saying, we're here, we're ready, and this is how we're going to meet our metrics. I mean, from a customer-facing front, that is huge because people are seeing you more and more. They're like, wait, I didn't know about this company beforehand, and now I'm sitting home scrolling on Facebook or scrolling on Instagram, and I'm like, wait, hang on, what is this sponsored ad? Oh, okay, wait, do I need a new car? Honey, we need a new car? Maybe we do, okay. And it's opening their eyes to a vision that they may not be at the front because they've got everything else going on, but you're hitting them where they're spending their time.
Yes.
And from a marketing element, that's one thing I focus so much with the show is like, I want to get people where they're at.
Yes.
I want to limit the restrictions and the friction from them either consuming the content and in your case, learning about your shop, learning about the cars that you're selling and getting to ultimately ink a deal. Yeah. That is huge.
And I think like even right now, what kind of sets us aside from other independent dealers, franchise dealers, where what you see on the lot is not actually what we're actually selling. We're not focusing on, hey, this is what we have on the lot, this is our inventory, and that's all we have. Well, we have a whole station set up, and when you come into the store and you say, hey, I'm here to look at a 2022 Ford Lightning. You say, well, you don't have one. Well, sure I do, man. I have access to 300 of them. He was like, where? So we sit them down, and I always, tell our guys, we want to create the experience where it's the customer world. You turn over the mouse, the keyboard, you pull up the site, and we go through. And if there's 300 Fords out there that this customer is looking at, or 300 Mercedes, or whatever the customer is looking at, we pull up all of them. You want light or dark colors, and we pull them up and we let the customer select it. So it's like almost like build your own. You let the customer get into it, and they pick this car, and it's not like I picked it and bought it. It's like you picked it, and you actually get to click it. If it's 20,000 or if it's 80,000, you get to click it. You bought it, and you get that experience. Like, I clicked that car, I bought that car, I'm signing paperwork. So, and I walk them through the whole process from clicking and buying their own car, signing up the deal, lining up transportation. They see it all. So they got the whole experience from start to finish. So they're involved in the process the whole time. So I think that's different because it's not like, customer going around and saying, hey, look, I'm looking for this specific car. It's like, well, I know I can go to Legendary and I can sit down at the computer and I can look at any car I want and they'll get it for me. It's different. So you don't have to go to dealership to dealership to dealership to find that right car. We can sit you down, pull up the site. We have over 70 to 80,000 cars, trucks that we can choose from. I'm pretty sure you'll find exactly what you want.
I imagine so with that type of inventory.
Yeah.
And so, has that just been built up via a relationship of people around the country that you're able to have access to all this?
Well, actually, it's a dealer site, right?
Okay.
It's a dealer site. I don't think dealers really use it like that. They use it as a tool for themselves to say, hey, listen, we need XYZ inventory. We sold 5 Mercedes last month. This car is hot. Let's go get 5 more. Well, that's how we gain our inventory. We pull it from the dealer portal, and then we say we want XYZ, and we buy those cars and put them on the lot based upon what we sold was fast movers. Well, I thought if a customer come in and they say, I'm sorry, you guys are awesome, you just don't have what I want. So what do you want? It's like, I want a Lexus. I want a Mercedes. So what if I can get you that Lexus? Like, well, you got my attention. So now I sit them down, and the same way that we would sit at the computer as dealers and pull up this car to buy it, I give the customer the same access. They get to see it. They get to see the whole layout from start to finish. just like a dealer. And they get to click on it. They get to say, you know what? I don't like the red. I want a white one with the tan interior. Click it. Because it's the same way if I was selling a new car and you came to my dealership to buy a new truck and you say, hey, I love this black one. I just really would like it to be red with the black interior.
Right.
The first thing they're going to do is says, let's transport one in. Let's do a dealer trade. Let's trade this car out, bring it in from another dealer, and I got it. So why can't I do the same on pre-owned cars? So I just took that new car approach and flipped it over to pre-owned cars. Doesn't matter. Whatever car you want, I can go get it for you.
So that's powerful.
Yeah.
I went through the car buying process about a year and some change ago, and I went in with a very specific car that I wanted, and it was the 2021 Jeep Gladiator diesel.
Yep.
Without the red dash.
Oh.
So I wanted the silver dash with the tan seats, and there was no car in Louisiana. I checked every website, every dealership. I said they don't have it. They got to make it.
Right.
But I essentially brought an order form to the dealer and was like, I can't purchase it from Jeep. Can you purchase it for me?
Yeah.
And having that level of customization, and they were like, well, we can find this one. I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm buying a new car.
Yeah.
I want exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And I don't want substitutes.
Nope.
I don't want you to find something that's close.
Yeah.
I want this car. So if it's got to get built, it's got to get built.
Yes.
And like if I'm spending as a consumer, I'm investing in my vehicle.
That's right.
That's an investment for everybody. A vehicle is an investment.
Yeah.
And if I don't get exactly what I want, like why am I here?
Right.
So doing what you're doing, I love that concept.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's different, I think that's something that giving the customer what they want instead of telling the customer what they need is different. I think, coming up in the car business, everyone, have this thing or this mindset where, man, I don't want to go to a car dealership. I don't want to talk to a dealer. I don't want to be pressured. Well, I think that's something that we take completely out to play. We don't pressure you. We don't, if you want to shop alone, that's great. If you want us to send the link to you, we can send the link, and sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming where we send you the link and you have 80, 90,000 cars to look through, and you're like, okay, so how do I navigate?
What do I even look? What am I looking at here?
Yes, so that's a little different, but I think just having that level of comfort to say, hey, I can look for any car in my living room, no dealer, nobody's pressuring me, and I get to see the price. So it's not like you saying, hey, I like this car, but what's the price? You're looking at the price. You have access to everything. So when they come back and they like, man, I can't believe you're going to sell it to me for this price. So I think dealing in volume is key. Not trying to, hey, focusing on a huge profit. You just focus on volume, because what I want to do is collect data. I want customers. And then when I get ready to send out a email blast, so I have everybody information, he's like, well, you're just selling in volume, like how you're outselling other dealers and doing so, but or you're really being successful, right? That's what you look at. And it's like, yes, I'm collecting data. I'm sending it out because over time, because when I'm looking at a quote unquote tough month, when I do an email blast, when I'm at 20, 25 and that blast go out, and then next week I'm at 55, I wasn't anticipating them being to 55 that fast, but I had collect data the last 6 months, right? I had that customer information. I sent it out. Customer didn't buy. It's fine. A customer, it happens all the time. Customer don't always buy from us because they say, hey, I want to go new. That's great. Do I drop them? No. I walk them through the process of a new car dealership. Hey, call me for all car needs, whatever you need. Hey, I'm buying at such and such dealership. No worries. I'll walk you through the whole process still. And it's like, I can't believe you took your time to do that and you're not getting anything from it. Sure I am. So I have all the information that I can send back out when I have something, maybe not you, but this is the perfect time. It's Thanksgiving coming up. Thanksgiving talks, such and such need new car, Christmas coming up, the holidays, right? So I love that time where you think of me during the holidays. It's like, man, I didn't even buy a car from him, but he helped us through the whole process. I think you should buy from him.
Yeah.
I didn't buy because I was going new. This is quality pre-owned. I think you should take a look.
It's
So,
the power of the referral
yes.
is huge.
Yes.
So I mentioned in the beginning of the show that you're a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The car dealership's not the only thing that you do.
No.
So you also own a basketball team here in Baton Rouge.
Yep.
And
Youth
you own a
organization.
barber shop.
Yes.
So dive into either one of those.
So, the barbershop is kind of having a barbershop and salon is pretty cool, right? Because sports, if you want the best talk of sports, I'm telling you got to go to the barbershop. It's like the guys know play by play what happened last night. And for some reason, they always think they know exactly what the coach was thinking, what the players was doing. So it gives you that insight, that feel to where you're comfortable, man. You can sit there for hours, talking about sports and family and different things, and then kind of tie back because that referral base where you're sitting in the barbershop and a kid comes in and get his hair cut, and it's like, hey, Daryl have a youth organization, basketball organization. It's like, well, my kid is 8. Do you have 8-year-olds? You're like, yeah, we start from kindergarten to 18-year-olds. So we can pretty much cover every area, So that's another referral, and kid come on and play with you. And then also family needs cars, and now you're selling them cars, and now the kid playing with you. Now the kid gets their haircut. So it's kind of like a big circle.
You're just the man to go to.
So it's like a big circle. So, but having the barbershop and salon is, I would say it's something is special, to me, because it gives me that quality time when it's just me and my son. When we go and get our haircut, we can sit and talk about sports, game zone, talk to different guys, get different views on different things of in the sports world, and then let my son kind of experience that whole barbershop talk. And it's like sometimes we walk away and he's like, Dad, did that guy really go to the game, or did that guy really know what was gonna happen? I'm like, no, son, he has no clue. but it's entertaining, so you listen to it. So he's entertaining you. So we get that feel, but it's an awesome feeling. So I love having the shop.
So how did you come about owning a barbershop? I mean, I know you made the 90-degree turn from basketball to car dealing, but now I feel like we're making another turn from car dealer to barbershop.
So I think style, haircuts are important. You got to have a good haircut, shave line, or whatever you want to have, but that haircut is important, that line, right? So finding that good barber is tough, and then finding a good shop with a good barber, with having that wait time that's not 3-4 hour wait to get a haircut, And I was thinking, what can I do? Like, how can I cut that down? So I talked to my barber a couple of times, and we talked, and I asked, like, man, like how can we cut this time? And he was like, you can't, I'm like, man, this feels like me and my son is in the shop for like 3 or 4 hours to get a haircut. Even if we set an appointment, it's like they either running behind or somebody else is running behind, and so that pushes your time back, So, we was talking one day, and I said, man, it was actually be pretty cool to own a barbershop. I said, what if I got a barbershop? Could you run it? And he's like, yeah, man, sure I can. I said, well, how about this? You give me 8 barbers, and you come to me, and we sit and talk. And I kind of want to, sports feel. We want to make it like a team. I want 4 and 4, right? I want these two teams competing, like East and West. And he was like, but how is that possible? Because as a barber, you're basically like an independent contractor. So yeah, I get it. You are an independent contractor, but in order for the shop to be successful and to grow, you got to compete. So you got to be East and West. you have to sit on separate sides, right? And if this barber is stronger than this barber, I want you to mix. So I want to mix and match, and going down the line, so you build a strong team, and with doing so, and you compete. And during the week, like I said, you want to kind of stay even during the week and win the weekend. And the weekend is huge for most businesses, right? So like I told them, you want to be even during the week and win the weekend. But the only way you can do that if you're competing, setting appointments, trying to outcut your partner to grow. And when you do that, when you build that friendly competition, you look back and you say, me and my wife, and we kind of talk, it's like, wow, starting this shop, we didn't think any customers would come in right away because it's a new shop. Everybody's like, well, it's a new shop. I don't want to be the first person to get my hair cut there,
Might walk out without an ear,
That's right. So those things. So we built that atmosphere where everybody's competing, and then they started to bring in their own clientele.
Yeah, that referral base.
That referral business goes back, and it just took off. And that shop is Legendary Cuts. So we got the jerseys on the wall. Like I said, you got the TVs going. You want to make it legendary, having that sports atmosphere, but thinking legendary. So it's great, man. Yeah.
So, and I wasn't aware until probably 2 or 3 months ago just how big a Saturday morning for a barbershop is. So now I've got a son, and he turns 1 next week, and so I have to time my haircuts with his nap.
Yeah.
That's my wife's like, you can go get your haircut when he's napping. Like on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So like we've got, she's planning out, okay, based on how long your hair takes to grow, you need to go get your haircut shorter than you normally do on this date. So when we have pictures on this date, the hair's good.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sure, babe. Sounds good. And so now I go like Saturday mornings at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like in the barbershop. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And I was sitting in the chair this past Saturday, and I somehow timed it perfectly, where I walked in as they were as my guy was finishing up a customer, and he just finished up. I like sat down. He's like, all right, you ready to go? I'm like, let's rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I sat in that chair, and as he's cutting my hair, the whole shop just gets full.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy smokes. And he's like, I'm telling you, man, like Saturdays, I hate to miss for the money.
Yeah.
But it's brutal.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you are just cutting from the time you open to the time you close. It's nonstop.
So you went in at 7, right?
No. I went in. Let's see, what time did he go take a nap? I think he went down around 9:30. So he went down around 9:30. If he went down at 9:30, I was at the barbershop for 9:31. I live right next to it.
Right. All right.
So I was there like 9:31 in the morning.
So think about this, right? You at 9:30. And the shop is opening at 5:30.
In the morning?
In the morning. 5:30 in the morning.
Your shop opens at 5:30 in the morning?
5:30 in the morning. So it actually opens at 6.
Okay.
But you got guys saying, hey, my first appointment is at 5:30. So you go there, you see the donuts, the coffee, the orange juice already laid out. And you're thinking, and it's funny because my wife would say, Daryl, is anybody going to really be there at 5:30? And you get there, and you're like, man, is everybody up at 5:30? Is like,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would go for a 5:30 appointment.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, that works with my schedule. 5:30, I'll be there.
Yes, it's like, man, you get there, and once again, TV's on, it's on ESPN. Everybody's talking sports, eating breakfast, and you got 10 guys there already. And
10 guys.
Yeah, you got about 10 guys. It's kind of like, hey, almost where. Like, what time is your appointment? Mine is at 6:37. But if someone doesn't show in that 5:30 slot, I want to jump in.
I'm gonna fill in that chair.
Yeah, so it kind of, it's like you're not wasting your time. I guess you can say if you get there at 5:30 and your appointment is at 7:30, because if someone doesn't make that 5:30 slot, you get to jump in. And, you get to talk a little sports, eat some donuts, and you're out of there. Worst case, you on time, 7:30, donuts, watch some sports, and you're still out of there.
I mean, what were you really going to do that morning from 5:30 to 7?
That's right.
Like, what are you really going to do in that morning?
So you got that time, So That's always good. But I think getting there at 5:30, you have to do something special to want people to be there at 5:30. So creating that atmosphere, like no one is going to get out of their bed at 5 or 4:45, 5 o'clock to be at your shop at 5:30, right? You gotta create the atmosphere for them to say, hey, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna make my appointment at 5:30. I'm gonna be there when before the doors open, or they got them open and the spread is laid out. You got to do something, but that's been different. What are you doing different from the shop down the street? Man, you guys lay out donuts every Saturday, orange juice, and every Saturday. Like you creating that feel. Like you want them to come back, but you want them to kind of miss something. So one Saturday you get there and it's like, man, where's the donuts, or where everything at? It's like, you missed it, man. They had it. It's like, man.
Wait, hold up. So you will intentionally, like some Saturdays
not get it. Not get
No.
it. Like, because I want them to miss it. I want them to be like, so is it important? What do they like about it? Why do they like coming here at 5:30? It's like, man, somebody forgot it. Like, no, you missed it. So now okay, you're creating that feel where donuts, orange juice, chocolate milk, that's key. That's key for them. They coming in, they like that whole experience, that whole layout where you can get some breakfast. If I'm running late, I don't have to stop and grab nothing. I know they got it for me. And I'm getting my hair cut. I'm still get the 30 minutes, hour talk with the guys talking sports. But if it's not there, then you miss it. It's like, man, I didn't even notice it until it was taken away. So when you take it away, you see how important it is. You say, hey, that's a key part of the shop. I'm adding some value there.
Dude, you are creating your own demand in this ecosystem that you have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yep. So we try to do those things and be different. I always try to keep going back. I always say be legendary, like be different. You can't do what the guy down the street is doing and then expect something different. What are you going to do different? So, and those things, I try to think of ways for us to get better each and every day. I always tell my son and my daughter, you got one goal when you wake up, is to be better than you were yesterday. That's all we're trying to focus on, is to get better. And that's what I tell the guys that any business that I own or I'm a part of, we're just trying to get better. Like, I don't want to do anything different, just get better.
Yeah.
So
just marginally better the next day and the next day and
the next day. Yeah.
So you also own a basketball team, a youth basketball team.
Yes. Yeah.
So walk us through that, man.
So that's actually, the car business, get to drive basically whatever car you want. That excitement of putting someone in their dream car, and then you go to the barbershop, and to have that time there, that's all great. But the basketball organization brings back that family time, because I told you about the car business and the barbershop. It's all kind of like taking all my time away from my family. Well, the basketball brings it back. Well, my wife was a good athlete in college, and so she likes to be around the organization. My kids playing sports, so they love playing basketball and doing things around the organization. So now that brings us all back together. Now that's my most important time, the family time, and just growing it, watching it grow. When you're starting out with basically 16 players. We started out with 16 players, a group that I started to coach when they was kindergartners. And then my son group started coaching them when they was kindergartners. And I had these two teams, just 16 players. And now we have, over 1 year, we have like 168 kids in our organization.
168 kids?
Yeah, we have teams. We have a kindergarten, first grade, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and 11th grade team. Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we have some teams that compete. The older group compete up on some top circuits, some high level teams. Some of the players are ranked in the nation. So we have some kids that's really good athletes, and they're picking it up, man. So, and even from that age 8, my son team has some really good players, and the group ahead of my son, the 5th grade team that I've been coaching since I was kindergartners, are really good too. They're probably, I think this summer they was the best team in the state of Louisiana, winning a tournament in Mandeville. So they're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good.
So it sounds like everything you do, you have to reach that pinnacle, that top level performer, you know?
Yeah, I think like being around like probably one of the best coaches in my opinion in Europe, and then being around one of the best coaches here, that was a good motivator, which was Roman. He's the Roman Banks, the AD at Southern, and then Coach Morrow. He's the coach in one of the European clubs. He was the Spanish national team coach, and it kind of tied back. You got two different worlds, and those guys all go back to process. What are your process? How are you going to get there? And you think, hey, I want to do this at the end of the month. It's like, how you want to do this at the end of the month, and you haven't even did this today? You're like, process, process. And once you put in that process, I think it's easy for it to take off, because it's like everybody has a system, and we all fit in this system, right? So we're working the system, and if something is out of place, if it's something is not going the right way, we don't change the system. We just make adjustments and keep going. And with doing that, I think that's the biggest thing with the organization, the dealership and the barbershop. If something is not going the right way, we don't stretch the plan. We just make adjustments. So when you stretch the plan, that means you're starting all over. When you're making a slight adjustment, you still get to go that same speed, but we're just making a little adjustment. We're not changing much. We're not trying to stop it and start all over. Make a little adjustment and keep going. So,
I love that, man.
Yeah, I think that's key.
So within the 3 different entities that you've got that you're operating, to me, it's almost kind of like a balancing nightmare.
Yeah.
So how do you even begin to go about balancing not only your time between these 3 entities, but I mean, you've got a very wonderful family that's fortunate enough to be in the studio with us tonight.
Yeah.
How do you balance that work between the 3 entities and the family back at home?
Well, having my wife in the dealership, having my wife, a part of the youth organization, to help her, to help me, manage it all. I think, got to give her credit. She does an excellent job of helping me planning things for the dealership, planning things for the organization. I couldn't have done any of that without her. Like, for example, this summer, when she gave me the layout of the basketball schedules, I'm like, man, they got to go to this many tournaments. She got it set out there, this many tournaments. This group is in Houston, this group is in Dallas, this group is Atlanta. You guys are going to Covington, this. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I'm just used to picking up, going to play, and dating all the way back since I was 8, right? Going back from 8-year-old kid to a 23-year-old kid in college. Every athlete to this day, life is already planned, already organized for him. And he's like, really? Like, yeah, because when he's playing youth sports, mom and dad is getting you to these practices and these games. So you're getting that on time. And you move to 8, 9, 10, and now you fast forward. Now you say, okay, now I'm in middle school. It's the same way. And now I'm in high school. It's the same way. And when you get in college, your life is already planned, because coach says you have this class from 8 to 9. You have this from 9 to whatever. Then you have a break for lunch. Then you have film. Then you have shoot around. Then you have weights. Then you have practice. Then you have film. Then you have study hall. And now my night is gone. And I repeat, right? And then now you turn pro. It's the same way. It's like you got film, weights, then you got break, and then you got practice, and then you got film again, and then you're free. So it's like, well, what do I have tomorrow? Same thing. So it's already planned for you. So I think having someone there to guide you through the process and help plan things for you is powerful, because my wife does that daily for me. It's like almost when I'm rushing out the door, she's like basically giving me a sheet. Hey, look, this is what you got. And like, yeah, I know. It's like, then I look at it, it's like, man, I forgot all about that. It's like, so you're like, man, if she didn't give it to me or she didn't shoot me a text, yeah, 100% sure I'm going to miss it, because I'm so caught up into the day-to-day.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I operate the exact same way so we use like the calendars on your phone.
Yes.
And if it's not in my calendar,
yeah,
I'm not there.
I'm not there.
Like, I'm not there. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
I just, my life is built up within that calendar of events where I know it tells me where I've got to be, who I'm talking to, who am I meeting next, where is that location at?
Yeah.
Like, some people just throw in, oh, I've got this appointment. And I'm like, no. I need to know that appointment, who's there, their names, and the address of where I'm going. Because I ain't got a clue where I'm going to be headed. Like, or you have an eye doctor appointment. Okay, where's it at?
Yeah.
Like, I need something to help me trigger that section of my brain that tells me, oh, you got to be here. You have to be at the eye doctor, and it's here, this floor, this is the map, this is how you get there. I'm like, all right, great.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. Like, I'm thinking so much in the day-to-day, the exact moment that I'm operating in, that forward-looking, like, we need a little help.
Yeah.
Need a little bit of assistance to keep us moving forward.
Yeah. And having that, I think, like I said, I can't say enough of what she does for me, from the car business to the youth organization to the barbershop. And it's kind of good, too, to have the barbershop walking distance from the dealership. So if I need a break, I can just walk down the street to touch those guys to say hello or whatever. But just having that laid out that, hey, I don't need to go to barbershop this week. My day is Saturday, because I know what I got to do here. And then, the training facility for the youth organization is not that far from the dealership. So it's kind of like a big triangle. So everything is pretty close. And having my wife to lay out the schedule so I know where I got to be, because we got, like I said, we got over 12 teams in the organization, but 3 of them that I coach, and I got my daughter's team, my son's team, and then I have a 5th grade group that I'm coaching, where my wife got all those times of practices laid out, what days, because they started to run together. I was like, man, do I have practice today? And it's like, no, you have football practice with your son. And then he was like, okay, well, have basketball? No, we have baseball training. It's like, man, like, it's never ending. But like, how do I keep up with this? And it's like, I don't. My wife already have it laid out for me. So she makes it easy.
What's that saying? The man may be the head of the family, but the wife is the neck.
Yes.
And she can turn the head in whatever direction
That's right.
Look,
that's exactly right.
That's the words I live by,
That's
man.
it.
Like,
That's right.
100%. Like, that's, they say the man wears the pants. That's right, but the wife picks out the pants I'm gonna wear.
That's exactly right. That's how it always works. I get a lot of compliments on different things. And it's like, man, and then it's come back, and my wife was like, see, I told you they would like it. I told you it looked nice. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think, but those things, like you said, always planning, always ahead of things. So for sure we need them. Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So as we start to wind down the show, we have like a set list of questions we like to ask everybody.
Yeah.
Very hard-hitting, challenging questions. Really get the noggin turning.
Yeah.
The first one of which, what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Go fishing with my dad. Going fishing with my dad. Living in Florida, Pensacola not being that far, 42 miles, and going to the bay is different than fishing at a pond, but you fishing off of the Bay Bridge is different. So those things I really enjoyed as a kid.
At that, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
My dad we would go down a Grand Isle frequently, and for a project he was working on, and we would always go. He'd always make a day of, I got meetings in Grand Isle. All right, Patrick, you're gonna come with me. Come with me. I'm like, all right, because I knew like, oh, he may have like an hour of meetings, and then we're gonna go fishing the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot, from being a professional basketball player to running a car dealership, running a barbershop, and running a youth organization basketball team. What are 3 lessons that you have picked up along the way in any and all of your careers?
Time management. Time management, I would have to say, is probably the biggest one for me. Knowing where you can move those time slots to be effective, right? To be successful, and still give the things that's needed your attention, so time management for sure. Yeah.
So what is something that you love about Baton Rouge?
Baton Rouge, I would say, first and foremost, you got to say the food. When you think of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, or whatever, it's just the food is second to none. But I would have to say the people. It's like whatever, any event, it's like if you want something or someone to come together, if there's a different event or something that's happening, it's like the whole Baton Rouge is there. So it's different. It's like seeing how Baton Rouge come together. So that is special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're always there.
Yeah.
When everybody needs us.
Yes. Yeah, like, hurricane, it doesn't matter if it's in Florida, you see the guys load up their trucks, their boats, and that's what I mean about coming together. If it's Texas, it doesn't matter. You see the interstate, some people would say, well, that happened in Florida, right? But you see a truckload of guys from Louisiana. And then if it's happening in Louisiana, you see the whole Louisiana come together, the whole Baton Rouge. So it's pretty special to see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for the final question, what can I do to help you?
Word of mouth referrals. If you're thinking anything from car needs, sports, barbershop, whatever you're thinking, I want you to think of me, send them to me, referrals. If I can't help them, 100% sure I will point them in the right direction. That's a fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You might get a 5:30 a.m. appointment out of me, man.
Yeah.
That time works with my schedule,
That's a great time. Yeah, I love that time slot. Great time.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I appreciate you bringing your family out here. That's very exciting to see all of them and to get to meet all of them. It's really, truly a blessing. So thank you so very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure.
And I thank everybody else for watching or listening to the show, whatever form you are consuming us on. I greatly appreciate it. I know the guests do as well. If you're in the need of a 5:30 a.m. appointment, check out Legendary Barbers.
Legendary Cuts
with Daryl, and let them know the Patty G Show sent you. And if you're in the need for cars or you're in the need for a youth basketball organization, make sure you check them out as well. Thank y'all again for tuning in and checking us out. And thank you to the wonderful sponsors that make this show possible each and every week. Hear a little bit more about them right now.
Sell your home for a $399 flat fee with Falaya. No, seriously. Falaya will list your home on the MLS and help you get all the way to the closing table for as little as a $399 flat fee. Our online platform is insanely easy to use and will save you thousands. If you're thinking about selling your home in 2022 and want to keep more of your hard-earned equity in your pocket, you need to check out Falaya. Falaya, real estate reimagined.
Thank you all so very much for listening to this episode of the Patty G Show, brought to you by Government Taco. They're located on the corner of Government Street and Jefferson Highway. Jay is always slinging up a new taco of the month, so if you're a frequenter to Government Taco, let us know in the comments what you thought about this month's taco of the month. If you're not a frequenter, maybe trying out this month's taco might just convert you. Big thanks over to them at Government Taco for making the Patty G Show possible.
Imagine taxiing on a plane looking toward the end of the runway. It seems so far away, it's even hard to see it. And that's what the concept of retirement probably felt like when you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, way far in the distance, not visible or even a concern. But as you turn 50, something happens. Retirement suddenly seems like something real, something not too far away. In your 50s, you are rolling down the runway. Retirement is getting closer and closer, faster and faster, weeks and months zipping by. But are you even ready for a successful takeoff to retirement? Fear not, there's still runway left. But the time is now. Time to make progress and time to get a plan. The Runway Decade will help you get organized, get energized, and give you the direction you need to take off to your desired retirement. The Runway Decade, building a pre-retirement flight plan in your 50s.
Thank you to Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge for making this show possible. Nick Pentis is a past guest. We love having him on. Listening to him talk about the culture they have over at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge is really an incredible thing to hear. How they treat not only their employees, but every customer that walks through the door. You are more than just a number to them. They're going to give you that white glove concierge service every step of the way. They're going to make you feel like family and take what can be a stressful time in people's life, shopping for a car. They're going to make it so enjoyable and so pleasurable. You're going to want to go back there time and time again for every new vehicle. Thank you so very much for Mercedes-Benz of making this show possible. Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Lake Men's Health Center with Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group. Guys, I know it's tough to get out and go to the doctor. I know it's challenging to find time in our busy days, but I promise you, signing up to be a part of this group with Dr. Curtis Chastain and Dr. Tyler Boudreau, you won't regret it for several reasons, but most of those being the fact of the time it saves, where you're able to get in on the same day, get that appointment done, and spend that time you need to talk with them about what your health goals and concerns are, as well as ensuring that the financial investments you have, you will be able to live out and see those come to fruition. So if you're an investing guy, you know all about and planning for the future and investing in the future. There's no other more important thing to invest in than your health. Make sure you go check them out, Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group Men's Health Center, and tell them Patty G sent you. McClavy's Limited, a proud sponsor of the Patty G Show, has been serving the Baton Rouge area proudly for 40-plus years. Gentlemen and ladies, if you're shopping for your man, there is no other place in the Baton Rouge area to get your clothing, whether it's game day needs, everyday needs, business attire, formal attire, whatever you want. Go over there, see Frank and Ashley. It's a father-daughter duo. They do incredible things in their store. They will outfit you from as simply a shirt that you need for one evening or all the way to a full wardrobe overhaul. They're going to take care of you every step of the way, and be sure and let them know that Patty G Show sent you. Thank you so very much to Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, the latest Patty G Show sponsor. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers is serving up hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy, crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, fresh coleslaw, and mouth-watering cane sauce. So y'all stop by for meetups and wind-downs, lunch breaks and dinner fixes, pre-games and after parties, or whenever your chicken finger cravings hit. I know my chicken finger cravings are hitting right now. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love. Thank you so very much to Currency Bank, a proud sponsor of the Patty G Show. If you're looking for a business bank that fosters on three core values, relationships, service, and technology, Currency Bank is the place for you. They pride themselves on convenient, accessible, and secure online banking resources where you can manage your account balances, initiate transfers, enroll with e-statements, and more via their online portal. Between the relationships, the service, and the technology, they are going to be that partner with your business every step of the way, regardless of what you need. Currency Bank is the bank for business owners.